Okay, so it's 3:15, and obviously we haven't been invaded by alien jet. It's like, damn it. God. It's like so disappointing. It's like, come on, something happened. Jesus. It's so like, God, I swear to God, when it gets like this and things just drag and drag and drag, it really gets to me. Like when things are happening, then it feels like good. Now, things are rolling, and then it goes into these stagnations. And the one thing I think is really strange is how did all these remote viewers look at something that wasn't there? So, and then all see the same thing. So, I don't know. Sometimes it feels like they're just like we're in this bubble being messed with or something. It's really weird. So, I don't know. To me, it seems like something could still go anytime. I mean, they could suddenly start fighting up in the sky. A fight could start somewhere and just blister out like all over the place just real quick. Wherever, whatever goes. And it still could be the whole thing of, they're going to nuke us and then these guys come in to save the day. So, I don't know. It's hard to know. Um, but, it's disappointing when things just drag and drag. It's like, come on. Like, god damn. And then plus as it drags and these people stay asleep, they just do dumbass shit. And now I see these people all like, oh my God, the NPCs are they're so crazy now. And I've been seeing these videos for a long while though. But it's weird. Is like when I talk, the air coming in kind of bothers my tooth. It's kind of weird. I should put the oil over it before I even start or something. But thing about my tooth right now, too, as I keep thinking. So I'll show y'all, even though it's like, oh man, it is so like it's like the brownish kind of part is like where it fractured off of the tooth, I think. And then there's this like black hole. And the black hole is the cavity. And so and I keep on thinking, I really keep thinking that I swear to God there was a silver filling there and it broke the tooth. That's one thing that Dennis said, is that the silver is stronger than the teeth. So teeth break all the time with silver cavities or silver fillings. And so I think and then plus, I think this is a place where I grind my teeth too. I don't grind them. I don't think as much as I just like grit my jaw all the time. And then I'm working on it, but it definitely takes a focus. You have to notice all the time. You need to find little markers like my teeth hurting, my jaw hurting. And then when I'm feeling stressed or whatever, like over something, it just is automatic. I swear to God, it doesn't even have to be a big stressor. I can be sitting here waiting for fucking UFOs to come and start shooting in the skies. It's like, but mine isn't like, oh God, I'm scared. No, mine's more like, is it not going to happen? Come on. Man, it is way more sensitive when the air comes in. That's weird. Because I keep doing the peroxide and stuff, and I keep thinking I really want to try and heal it my own self and see. And my mom, she said that her tooth broke a couple years ago, and doing the peroxide has saved her. She hasn't had to have anything done to it. And so she does the peroxide all the time. And she said, I'm sure that's what saves my tooth. And, but I'm also going to do the oil pulling, which yesterday I made it 30 minutes. I did it 35 minutes. And it wasn't as bad as like, it kind of just kind of stays the same. I always get to this part where it's just like, ugh, and I want to just spit it out. And so I just went past that and I got through. So if I can do that every day, and that's supposed to be really good and helps grow your teeth back. I'm going to get more of that hydroxyapatite stuff, but that's still not till payday anyways. And what was the other thing? The oil pulling. Oh yeah, because I was doing that mineral packing thing too. And so I'm going to keep trying that stuff. And I was thinking, if I kept my appointment, like if I didn't do the faster one, if I stayed with the 17th, and then I went to that appointment, and that would give me, unless it got real bad, like unless it just breaks or something worse. But if I can stretch it out till then and keep doing this stuff and see if I make it better, and then I go in and then it's better, then I say I'm gonna keep doing the same thing. I'm not gonna do all this brutal stuff that they want to do, because I don't even know if my body is kind of rejecting that stuff anyways, and then they're going to put more in it. And even though it's not silver, like when they told us that they were putting silver in, and that's natural, isn't it? Like silver and gold and stuff, and it's natural, and that we have problems with that. And then they want to put this artificial, whatever they call it, uh, not algorithm, but something like that. And then they want to put that into our teeth, and they always make these weird compounds and stuff of this stuff. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like we're not supposed to be doing all of that stuff. I feel like that these people came up with this stuff to that we're not supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be cutting into our bodies. None of that stuff. We're supposed to be healing it. We're not supposed to be taking meds to interfere. Which also, it seems that the Dovik, it also triggered its own autoimmune thing. I just saw a girl talking about it. It's called long COVID or something like that. And if you've got that, then you've got all these other issues, which are all like autoimmune. So that sickness, see, all these different things. This is the thing about all this stuff. Herpes, AIDS, all these different things. Supposedly, we have all these things inside of us. And then they go in and trigger them. So there's lots of people who have autoimmune who don't know that they have it. They don't know their body's overreacting. I bet you it could even have something to do with some people's like high blood pressure or any of that kind of stuff. Which, you know what I was thinking too about the absurdity now of doing the blood pressure. And I don't know if they're doing it in every dentist office. I just know they're doing it at mine. Doing the blood pressure. Like every single person, blood pressure, I'm sure, is skyrocketed when they come in there. Nobody, I can't imagine anybody. Just the sounds in there. Like when you go in, it's just this zzz, and it's horrible. And then it's got the smells, like the coldness, like everything about it is stale. It's dry. It's uncomfortable. It's phony. It's fake. It's all about the money. It's just like all this machinery around. Like every dentist has got the most fantastic machines. Is all proud of his machines. And really, what are they doing? They're still going in and shooting, putting things into our jaws, and all this medication that also with the Novocaine, when they do the epinephrine, which they always want to use the epinephrine, the Novocaine with the epinephrine, the Novocaine with the epi, to me, it starts making me have like heart palpitations and stuff. That could also be driving some of these blood pressures up. So the whole thing is so fucking absurd. And the way that they were having that lady sit there and wait, and hers was 165 over 110. Their cutoff is 165 over 100. So you can be 165 over 100, but you can't be 165 over 110. And even I think she said she has blood pressure, high blood pressure regularly. I couldn't hear everything she was saying. But I could hear the girls sitting there saying, well, we can't do anything. You're going to have to sit here. And then I heard her a while later saying something about, the treating her or something. I thought, are they giving them something to relax? Like, is this like a new fucking thing now? A new way to make money? Like, oh, we know you're going to have high blood pressure. So if you want to get your stuff completed while you're here, you're going to have to be treated for your, blood pressure or something. I don't know. I mean, it's everything in this medical system is shenanigans. I swear to God. And I don't think that we're meant to partake in it. And it's like our own self that has to stand up. And it's like it's programming too. Because it's a lot, because it's like this guy telling me that, and even having this air blow in, it's like makes me kind of like, oh, tense. Because it isn't bothering me so much with anything else. And so but anyways, that's my plan right now. And then when I go in and see, and if it's better, yeah, I'm not going to do any treatment. I'm just going to keep going and trying to get rid of the infection myself and rebuild the tooth. Whatever it rebuilds as, like, I don't know. If supposedly you can rebuild a whole teeth. And that is something that's in the med bed thing too. So I don't know. And plus, like, I don't know, this whole fucking shenanigan is like not even real. Like, it always gets me. It's like we were talking about all this stuff like it's real and it's not even real. So anyways, that's what I'm gonna do about that. The in the autoimmune thing, where I know all these different people have it, even though they don't know, and nobody's getting, even people who are going in that route and going towards those diagnoses, they get multiple diagnoses. They get, well, this thing just flew by again. That was weird, kind of flashed a light. Oh, maybe it's me moving. I don't know. That was weird. Anyways, I've got such a headache still. Okay, so the audit, because I wanted to talk about this thing. Because somebody had sent me a thing, this one doctor, and he was talking about 7 causes, or 11 causes. There's 11 causes of chest pain that aren't have anything to do with your heart. But, what was it? Oh, but it was 7 minutes long. So I think it was 11 things, but it was 7 minutes long. So so because I was a ER nurse, and you know, I know most of the people that come in with chest pain, it's not heart attack, and so anyways, and I knew most of it is GI, but my chest pain isn't so much in this part. Mine is right, like if I touch it, it's super tender, like right in here. And what I think it is, because autoimmune, whatever my autoimmune things are, it has something to do with pain and inflammation. So something like in the joints or something, but I think it has something to do with like the fascia or the connective tissues. And that is one I heard some doctors talking about recently. There's some new autoimmune thing that they've discovered now, and it's like in the connective tissue or something. I was like, oh, I think that's what I have. And it's not like a new discovery. Like, no, it takes them a long time to figure shit out. Like, tons and tons of people could come in and keep complaining about it, and they put them on pain medication and all that kind of stuff. And then that became an issue. But tons and tons of people have these things we just have a lame ass system that is full of nonsense, full of fucking ego and greed. And so anyways, this connective tissue thing. And so at first I thought, well, maybe it could be GI, because he was explaining about the gallbladder thing. And I had been noticing lately where my gallbladder was, how it's just like a sunken hole. And I'm just like, man, I mean, and gallbladder is supposed to be tiny. It's like, what damage do they do when we let them do this shit? We let them cut into us, and it's like fucking Frankenstein bullshit, man. So anyways, I don't know, maybe the muscle got pulled or something. I don't know. It's just fucking bullshit. And so I was thinking, well, there could be problems with my the little sphincters and shit that connect all of this, the bile ducts and stuff. So I was thinking it could be like a spasm, I guess, because he said it something about, I don't remember, but he said to push over here under your right side of your rib cage. And I was like, okay, it kind of feels better. I'm sitting here. Yeah, maybe that's it. And then later I got up and I was doing something, and it was hurting and hurting. I was trying that. I was like, no, that's not doing anything. What I think is going on though with mine is that, so after my surgery, which it wasn't that long ago, I don't think, but all these lymph nodes, I think that these lymph nodes have been kind of like, because it's still healing. It's still been healing over here, like the skin and stuff, all the stuff that was pulled. Because at first when I finished, all this was like loose skin. And it's still a little bit, you can see, but it was, and so it's still healing. So all of this is still healing because all of this was pulled because this was like boob out here, so, and then it went down. And so this, so I'm sure the lymph nodes are still really, like all full of whatever they're doing. It's a lot of filtering and stuff over here while this is healing. And so what I think happened was, there's something, because even like my pinky today, it's like you leave. This is one thing that I had noticed, and my daughter had said this too. She keeps saying like she doesn't have autoimmune. Fibromyalgia is autoimmune. It's just believe me. Everybody's got these fucking autoimmune things because they trigger this shit inside of our body, and we get these overactivities in certain places or certain things that happen. And so she had talked about, and my mom had talked about, because both of them had got this diagnosis of fibromyalgia. And like if you kick something and you just hurt your toe, it won't just hurt. It will go and go. It will reverberate through your whole body, and it will stay hurting it could stay hurting for months. And so that's this overreaction. And so a lot of people have these things where like their nerves are overreacting. Something is going on in their system is creating these overreactions. And then people go to the doctors tell you you're crazy, or they put you on pain meds. It just depends on what your history is, what the doctor's history is. It depends on a lot of things. So depends on how much money he needs if he's plane to Bermuda. So anyways, the what I think is like I feel like I was sleeping weird or something, and it hurt. And then I started trying to stretch it out the next day, and I was doing all these exercises. I do all these exercises all the time, but I was trying to do a lot more stretching it to try and, because it felt like it needed to like a pop or something. But every single thing has only made it hurt worse and worse and worse, where it was like, oh my God, I could not believe how bad I was hurting, just doing nothing, just hurting and hurting and hurting, and it was giving me a headache. And so I think it is that whatever was triggered, it just causes this overreaction, and I think it's in my fascia or something, some kind of connective tissue. And one thing too is I've been rubbing this boron cream that I had gotten after the surgery on there to try and get it, and I also tried the DSMO stuff too. And then so trying to rub something on there to make it stop hurting or whatever, or also to heal, to penetrate into there and heal, which that DSM, I cannot believe it. It's making that really big one on her back collapse. It's just collapsing. It's weird. So, anyways, yeah, because when I was rubbing and also trying to massage it, so when it was hurting, the first couple days especially, and I was trying to do these massages, and that's where I was figuring out like there's a localized pain spot. There's a spot, and that's another thing too. Like if you are having chest pain or something, if you find that you've got a spot and it's hurting, like then that is normally some kind of injury. And so some kind of injury that I don't remember getting. And so anyways, when I was rubbing though, it was like I could feel little bubbles popping all underneath my skin. And then that was, to me, again, making me feel like, oh, so there's inflammation in my skin or in my connective tissue. And so that's why I think too. So I think that it's some kind of, I don't even know, who knows what chemical is causing this to happen in some people. This overreaction of our nerves or our connective tissue or inflammation or whatever. I think I've got a couple, and that's probably why so many people get multiple diagnoses, because they keep triggering all these different things, and we're never really getting to the real culprit. It just keeps being like blamed on our bodies, and it's like it's our environment. And so so anyways, that is what I think is going on with my chest. And yesterday, but it is definitely making me not be able to smoke, like, because I don't know, it hurts. And it'll make me start coughing. And one thing too I noticed is like if I start coughing, because I have to cough anyways. This is fucking allergy world out here. Even when, because it was super sunny, it is so fucking cold. And there's, you could see, because it's not all overcast and stuff, you can see them landlines all up in the sky. And then you can see the frequency moving it. Which, how I've said about sound carrying and stuff, over by New Jersey, all these 911 calls keep coming in because there's this music that's so loud coming across the lake, I guess, that everybody's calling and making reports, but they can't find where this music's coming from. There's nowhere that anybody can find where it's coming from. To the point now that they think it may be coming from Delaware. So it's crossing, the sounds crossing all the way across the lake. But it also could be being carried with these frequencies and stuff. And they said that they have these frequencies and they are carrying sounds to, and not everybody can hear all the different things, I don't think. So anyways, it can be something, there's something weird about how sound is carrying, like for sure. I've been talking about it for a while. And I noticed it with the planes, because the planes would be way past and the sound's way back there. It's like the plane's gone and it's still got the sound. It's like, this is the weirdest thing. I can't believe it. And so just weird stuff, because it used to be that you would hear the plane coming, you'd look up and it'd be above you, and then it would go and you'd hear it go by. And now it's like, no, you hear a plane coming and you got to look way over there because it's leaving. It's just like, what the fuck is going on, man? And so to me, it's something with the sound, it's something with the energy, it's something with this has something to do with the pole shift. It's something to do with what I think it's our atmosphere. It's like everything is shifting. So, I don't know, but they're doing stuff with the frequency, that's for sure, because you can even see in the sky, and then that could be also why sound is carrying so weird. I don't know, I just know it's carrying weird, and all these people in there, they're like, it's super loud, at night, so I guess it's waking people up and stuff. And it's been going and going and nobody can find it. So anyways, I don't know. It's been on the news. So now if they're going to go look for it more or something, take it more serious. And then they've got all these drones over by New Jersey too, flying around. Some of them huge. It's like, what? I don't know. Like, are they just flying drones around just to make us keep looking up and to get us? I don't know. It's all a show. It's all this elaborate scheme to wake us up, to get us to think for ourselves, to pull us free from programming. Like, so anyways, it's, I don't know. There's so much of this stuff, just like how these remote viewers, how did all these remote viewers see this situation happening that hadn't happened? And I think that just was another one. I think there was another one that the remote viewers said was going to happen a couple of months ago, and then it didn't happen. And I don't remember what it was. But then it's like, man, what are they doing? Are they doing something? It's weird. What is going on in this reality? And then the absurdity, Joe's going to part. Like, some of this stuff is so absurd. And now all of a sudden he's doing this whole thing where he's going to be friends with Africa. So he's going to send him over $600 billion, trillion, some absurd number. And so that to adhere to a concrete, to make this relationship, he's going to go and save all the people who have been affected by famines and stuff over there and build them houses and stuff. So you see the absurdity, like what we've got going on here. But the government is so mindless and doesn't care. All they're doing is throwing money towards their laundry system. But the thing is, with the Africa president, he told them like months ago, he told people, get rid of dollar bills, y'all. And so yeah, it's a show. It's all a show. And probably, it could very well be Zelensky, when we're seeing him doing all of that show business, and that he was really hired by the white hats, not by the dark people, and that he was taken to show us. And so he's the receiver of all these $1 trillion, but it's really just a show to get us to see, like, they don't do anything to care for us, and it falls on us. And then they even will make it a crime. Some places are making it a crime to be homeless. So I don't know. There's just so much absurdity going on. And let's see, there's so much absurdity going on. Oh yeah, because the money thing. Especially like, well, I mean, he's got like a couple weeks left or something. And what did I say? I said a couple weeks ago, after the thing was done, I said that Joe would be there would be money things. He's going to be giving away $1 trillion here and there, because it's got to be something that's going to be exposing this money thing, because I still think it's got to crash under him. And with he's giving away billion dollars every other day to somebody, so it's got to be something that's going to fall. And I do know that the president in Africa had said to the people, like, get rid of the dollars. It's that money is no good. It's falling apart. It's done for. I don't even remember the whole speech. There was like a few different things. He was doing speeches and shit. So I don't know. I mean, it was a few months ago, but I'm sure he's probably signed on to the BRICS things too. So it's just all part of the show. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're already signed on, but they've got to have it all crash. There's a whole thing to it. It's like, it's got to affect the people so the people heal, and so the people let go. But it's got to have its play out. It's got to play out. So it's going to play out, and it's going to show it's corrupt as shit, and these people, and it's their little fucking game, and then we sucker on, and that's what gets us running on the hamster wheel. And it just really gets me when I just think about, like, in the 70s and so, how many people were in 60s and 50s and so, like, how many people were working under the table, and how it was this big lure to get people to go and start working, and for these jobs and businesses and corporations or whatever, just so that they could get a hold of that paycheck, so that they could no longer be not giving the government some of their money. So anyways, it's all shenanigans. All this money shenanigans has been going for a while. It's been about control for a long while, because even back before, when it was the gold standard, there was shenanigans that were going, because there was something about when they had all these people put their money into banks, and then all of a sudden they shifted how much the people's money was worth. So it was like, all these people put in this gold that was supposed to be like, $5,000 an ounce or something. They put it in there. The bank does some shenanigans and suddenly says, oh, wow, it's only worth $100 an ounce now. Oh, dang. And then they've got all of it in their thing. So it was like they stole all these people's gold, just like they steal people's land, just like they steal anything they can. These people are crooked, criminal fucking people, and they don't give a shit about us. And I was getting so fucking pissed yesterday. Oh my fucking God, I couldn't believe this show. So it was, let me think who was in it, because it was a movie about cops. So it had Keith Carradine. Let's see here. No, is it David Carradine? I used to really like David Carradine. I liked all those Carradines, but the one, I thought he was super cute. He was tall, and he had this feathery hair or something, and I don't know. I just liked him, and he's in it, and he's rotten guy. So it's just like, ugh. And it had Justin Theroux in it. And I don't know if this was like one of his first parts or something before he married Jennifer Aniston. So I don't know, I mean, this is an older movie. And had Dana Delaney, Brian Dennehy. Yeah, it did have Brian Dennehy. I love Brian Dennehy. And that, I think, was the draw into the movie, was, oh, Brian Dennehy movie. And so, and there's a guy who has a channel who just loves Brian Dennehy, and he plays all these Brian Dennehy movies. So I just found this guy, and he really loves Brian Dennehy. So now that I found him, now I have more Brian Dennehy movies. But I love Brian Dennehy movies. I don't know what it is. But anyways, so in this movie, it so fucking pisses you off. Like, oh my God, I couldn't even believe it. I didn't even know what the movie was going to be about either. I had no idea. And so Dana Delaney is the ex-wife of this professor guy, which, oh, if you haven't seen this professor on the airlines the other day, and this is the absurdity, and who knows what the fuck. Like, are they getting these people to do this stuff in order to get lesser sentences? So they're going out in public and looking a fool all over the place? Or are they really, you know, like, it's weird. Because she's on an airplane and starts smoking. She lights up a fucking cigarette, starts smoking, and causes this big thing. She's going to get arrested in Miami and all this stuff. And then and she's telling everybody who she is. A sociology professor at whatever university. Oh my God. So I don't know. All these people. Oh, the other show. Oh, yeah, because that one. Oh, God, this is the one that was pissing me the fuck off. The racist documentary. But let me tell you about this movie, though, because it pissed me the fuck off, too. Usually I was just in a pissed off fucking mood. Like, in pain. This fucking shit that's coming across. I'm like, are you motherfucking kidding me? So in this one, Dana Delaney is the ex of this college professor. And he's provocative college professor. And he was... and it may have been that he was talking about race. I wasn't listening to his whole thing because it was a lot of the N-word and stuff. And I was like, what the hell? And I was like, because I think that's offensive. I think I don't, in songs and everything, I like, it shouldn't be just offensive for one person to say it. It should be offensive for everybody to say it, as far as I'm concerned. But anyways, and so, kind of self-degrading kind of. It's kind of like, I don't know. There's a whole thing to me to it. Like, it's like, you know, sitting there and keep saying bad stuff to yourself. Especially when you say, this is the worst word you could possibly say on the planet. And it has to do with me. And then I'm going to call myself that every 5 minutes. And call everybody that's the same that looks like me. I'm going to call them that every 5 minutes. It's like, I don't think that's very positive. I think that you may want to just get that word out of everybody's thing then. So, plus it gives it an extra fucking power, you know, because it's so off limits. So anyways, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. But anyways, I wasn't listening to his speech. But so they go out, and so she's the ex. They go out, and they're under a bridge, and it's their anniversary. And so they're doing it under this bridge in their car. And these cops come. And they may have gotten in an argument or something, but it wasn't like a big argument. It was like exes arguing over something because they're still in there doing it. And so these cops come. And because he's dark-skinned and she's not. And I can't remember what this actor's name is, the guy who plays him. But he's a famous guy too. Oh my gosh, I'm getting such a thing in my thing. So, it's like a vibration or something. Hold on. So, he, here she goes, all limp and see. Is that whenever the inflammation, it never is just me. And she's got the autoimmune too with arthritis. Still, please let me finish doing this. She's very hungry today. She's been very hungry. Like, I have to feed them every couple hours because if she eats, they eat. So, and it's nonstop. Just constant eating. Stella, it is not time to eat. Come over here. You know I'm working. I love you too. I love you. See if I can get her face up here so you can see the sore. I think it's getting better, but it's pretty protruding. But anyways, So the cops, Justin Thoreau and Carradine, and Carradine's a dick, man. God, he's like the worst. And you just know there's so many cops like this. There's just way too many stories. There's way too many stories of all these things coming out in the news of how accurate this portrays them. It's disgusting. As he just is out there sleeping around. He's married. He just talks so vile about women. He's just disgusting. And Paul and Brian Denny, he barely has any part in it. He's the IA guy or whatever, because of course the Carradine kills the ex-husband, the dark-skinned guy. So he kills him. Yeah, I mean, they're trying to humiliate him the whole time, making him get out of the car naked and stuff, and making him stand there, and then he gets his young partner to just play along with this shit. And Dana Delaney is just watching this racism and being so fucking pissed, and she just can't even believe it. But then it goes to killing him, and then she was just like, she couldn't even believe it. And so it becomes like her whole thing is to take them down. But the shit that she comes up against, oh my God, and the way the system works, and even talking to the DA, where she even said to him, how many shootings have there been this year in Baltimore? And he said, where cops do it. And then he said like 800 or something like that. And she said, and how many were prosecuted? And none. They're allowed to go and just, it's free game out there. Just, they're protected all the time. And we've seen this over and over in these different cases. And then when you watch it play out, and, the people, like the judges, everything lets them off. She goes and talks to the internal affairs guy, the IA guy. He just like, nope, it's good. They won't do anything. They don't care. And so she goes all in, man. She's taking him down. And she sets up the whole thing to get him on camera. And he almost does her in. The guy's a psycho, man. So anyway, that was just pissing me off because it was so true to the system. And this movie was like in the 90s. And there's so much disclosure all the time around us. And we just accept it. And so anyways, that was infuriating, just watching how like no cops are prosecuted. This guy is a total skis, and it's okay. They're just like, they let these guys, and then the skeezers, they kind of are the bullies to make the other guys comply into this good boy system that they created, protecting themselves as criminals. They protect their criminal activities, but they're going against us all the time and trying to say we're criminals. It's the absurdity of this. I mean, and it is, it's in that study and stuff. The one about the prison, this, I can't remember who, but when they did this study they took these students, I think from Stanford or something, and they said half of you guys are the guards and half of you guys are the prisoners. And the people start becoming what they are. And these ones start abusing these ones. And there's a hierarchy. These hierarchies develop all the time. And it kind of is due to this pre-inclusion. Something about a way of seeing yourself. And it's divisive. And I'll tell you what's motherfucking so divisive. I swear to God, I can't even believe this shit. And this was enough to push me out of being blue anyways. And I thought this stuff is so stupid. There's so much stuff that where the blue has gone, there's like, it's way beyond just burning. I mean, there's so much stuff that is ridiculous, man. So and when I hear some of these people talk, I'm just like, what in the fuck is wrong with you? I swear to God. So it's a documentary that's out, and so it's Matt Walsh, and I know him to be a conservative talker because there was a while that his videos, I kept seeing his videos going, and that's how I figured out who he was, because he was being very not just confrontational. It's like trans people were being confrontational to him over what he has said, what he believes. And so they would be confrontational to him, and he would kind of like put him in their place, like leave them kind of scrambled, like, you know, where are you going from here? What are you going to say? Like, because he was talking logic and they're talking on emotion and stuff. And so anyways, you got that whole thing. So I knew he was conservative. And I was kind of surprised that his thing was on my brother's Plex thing. So anyways, I was like, well, I'm going to watch this. And so you think like, he'll be pointing this stuff out, but he lets this stuff point itself out through it. And so you have to listen to these people. And he goes along with it, to a certain point. He develops a character to go along with it because he has to infiltrate. Because as soon as he starts trying to do anything, people recognize him. So, and I guess he's off the Daily Wire. And I don't know, is the Daily Wire, wasn't that a liberal show, like a late night liberal show or something? I don't know. Like, I don't know who all these people are. They just all of a sudden they'll start coming out of nowhere. But anyways, so I thought, if he was going to do something about racism, it would be, a logical thing. It wouldn't be all this, like, he would show some stuff. And he shows it. But I can't even believe when you have to listen to some of these people. Oh my God. It is weird. It's weird. And I mean, almost to the point where it's like, are these paid actors? Are these even real people? Because how are they this much on this script, on this program? They're all running this motherfucking program to, like, they say the same fucking things. And so, like, they're creepy too. The way they look at things and say things like, oh my God, what was this one woman he was talking to? I don't know. He's talking to all these authors. Like, there's all these authors that are out doing books telling us how we're all so racist, which is so strange that white people are 7% of the population. 7 to 10% of the population, which is mostly 7%, what they say, not the 10%, it's way more towards the 7, is white people. So, and you're telling me that white people, the minority, have created the supremacy. I don't know. I think it's, for one thing, it's the system who it segregates. And then it creates windows where these people look and think, these people have it better, these people have it better, we've got it worse. Which in these cases they do, because they've been created and isolated into ghettos. But it's not us doing it, it's this system. And they've been doing it under our noses to create the division, to keep people separate, because they know, like, if you're living next door to all these different people, then you're going to become friends with them. You're not going to see the division. They create the division. And so then it's going to warm your heart or open you up and see, because that is all the people I've ever known that ever said anything negative about a different race or something is because they don't know them. They don't know them. They don't have any friends of them. And so they're judgmental, and it's all from programming and stuff. So it's all created. But this one woman, I can't even remember all the stupid shit she was saying. And she's interviewing her, and but he's doing it as his character. And so having this talk about racism, I'm pretty sure he was a character at this point. No, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was talking, but she didn't know who he was or something. And because I wonder how many of these people didn't know who he was when they were talking to him. And this one, he wrote this book, I think it's called Fragility of Racism or something. Something about fragility. That woman is, these people are creating racism, if you ask me. I mean, and getting us to just focus on this stuff. There's these two ladies. These ones, I couldn't even believe it. So one of them was like, I don't know, like maybe she's Iranian or something, and and she does a whole thing talking about how she used to be white passing or something. She used to pretend to be white or something. It's like, okay, so you've got issues. It's you who's got the issues. But yeah, okay, let's just we throw them out at everybody else. Okay, so then she's with this other black woman. So as these two ladies are go out, so you hire them, you pay them, and I think they're authors too. And their book is Racism at Dinner with the Racist or something. I don't know. And they go around and have these dinners with people, and it's supposed to be all women. You can only have all women at your dinner. And then they talk about how racist you are. And it's supposed to be enlightening. And so he couldn't go to the dinner because he's not a woman. I thought maybe he was going to dress up as one, but he's pretty tall. So, and he's got that big old beard. So anyways, he instead was going as staff. So he was bringing out things, but he's always so over the top. Like he interjects in the conversations and starts saying stuff. The parts he does is funny. The parts of these people, because these are people, I mean, if they're supposed to be real people, and saying this shit that is just like, what in the holy hell? How do you even think like this? So the one woman, she was saying, because they're both sitting there saying how much they hate white people. I was like, so you're telling these people they're racist, but y'all are racist. But you racist people are sitting there telling these other people they're no good when you're sitting there, your opener is, I hate you all. I don't like you because of the color of your skin. So I hate you all. And you disgust me. And I'm lumping you all together. I mean, it's so fucking racist. I can't even believe it. And then they sit and lecture these people. And these people sit and take it like a whooping. And it's just like, what in the holy hell? And there was one part where the woman goes, would any of you even change places with a black woman? Would you give up your chance to be white and be a black woman instead? And they all these women at this dinner start looking around at each other like, no, I never would. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. How dare I be so, I'm so racist. I'm so ashamed of myself. It's like, it's so weird. As I have thought a bunch of times, like, fuck, man, I wish I could have been born black. And, so I don't know. It's weird because that was something that stood out to me so much when I very first started noticing people talking about race, and it was there was a period of time, like I said, it was on the news all the time. They were constantly talking about welfare fraud and the crimes in the black community. It was like nonstop, and they were trying to build up to make people more scared of them and stuff, and so I heard people talking, and I would always be like, how can you not like somebody over the color of their skin? Because that's a crapshoot. Like, you could be born in any body. So how can that be? But people don't look at it like souls and that this is just the shell. This is just a container. And they get very caught up in the roles and stuff. And so that's this black woman, to me, it was so much about her insecurity, her not feeling good about herself. And, one thing too with the other woman he was talking to with the long red hair, and she just kept saying stupid ass shit. And he said, oh yeah, this was a good one. Okay, so she said that she, as a 3-year-old, I think her daughter was like 3 years old, and she just keeps picking white princesses. No matter what she does, she can't get her to pick a princess that's not white. And how that is just, she's already a racist because she keeps picking ones that look like her. Like, think about this. Like, the whole problem is that there's not enough people to look like these people, but because they want to be able to pick who they look like. But if somebody picks who they look like, then they're racist. It's like, it's very strange. So anyways, so he goes, well, my 3-year-old daughter, her favorite princess is Moana. So I'm doing good on that, aren't I? And she's all praising him like, oh, yes, that's so fucking wonderful. And then he goes, but the problem, hold on. But the problem is that now it's going to be Halloween and she wants to go as Moana. So is that cultural appropriation? And then she's like, yeah, you can't let her go as Moana. It's like, oh my God, this is so absurd. Oh my gosh, Moana is going across the thing, right? When I say that, it's so absurd. All the stuff. It's like, how, like, you guys, you got to put the pieces together. Like, it's so fucking scattered. So no, she can't go as Moana because that's cultural appropriation. She's only allowed to love her from afar. And so whatever in that conversation, I mean, there was more absurd stuff that this one woman was saying. Like, and putting so much on these little kids. And he kept trying to, say things, and she'd be, oh yeah, that's so racist. Stuff is like this little kid. And so anyways, but they're all, somehow everybody's just being racist because I don't know, it's this created thing. You have to go in, I don't know, like all books on the shelves and stuff. And to me, it seems like it has a lot to do with people feeling marginalized and feeling disregarded, and that has to do with, like, in your soul and your spirit, that has to do with things for you to get over, the challenges, the obstacles that you came in to get over. And so these people have these feelings of being marginalized and stuff, so you're born into these certain communities, so they go through that experience, but then they want to turn it to everybody else needs to make me feel better. I don't need to try and feel better. I need you guys to stop doing whatever you're doing so I can feel better. And that's where we start getting things so twisted around, because so what about my feelings? What about mine? What about mine? So everybody's got feelings about something. So how are we going to please everybody? We got to learn how to self-satisfy. We got to learn how to let things roll off our back, let things go. We can't sit here and have the whole world take a knee to us because we're having a bad day. Like, oh my gosh, and fucking hell, yesterday, like, I went for a walk. Some of the days when I go for a walk, I'm sure I just look like a psycho. I'm just like stomping around, and they twisting around me. I'm like, God damn it. It's like, some of these people is like, oh, some of these days, and I'm walking, I'm going, come on, Stella, and she's going as slow as she can, and fucking Max, when shit goes wrong, it goes wrong. And Max is always like, he's the worst on the walking thing. He's always wanting to pull. He's in a hurry. He's got places to go. Let's go. I'm constantly having to pull him back and get him back, and constantly tell him, you're walking with us. You're walking with us, and pay attention to what we're doing. And so I'm constantly having to yank his thing back. That's what they taught in the training school. Was some of them, they put the choke, that pinchy collar thing on. He has a harness, so I'm not doing anything to his neck. I'm pulling his body back. But you're supposed to, when dog keeps going off like that, you're supposed to turn abruptly and yank them. You're supposed to keep turning abruptly and yank them. And then when you do that, they start paying better attention because they don't want to be yanked. And so I'm working on that with him to try and yank him back. And, but he just takes off. Like, he's just ready to go. And Stella walks super slow. She wants to stop and smell everything. And some of the days we're stopping every fucking yard. And it's just standing out there smelling stuff. And then Archie, he wants to go like every 5 walks. And so yesterday was one of them. And I was in so much pain. I was having a horrible headache. I did not want to go. It was fucking cold as shit. And when I'm going and doing that stuff too, then I'll get all like feeling sorry for myself. Like, God damn it. They're totally taking advantage of me. Nobody cares if I'm sick. And so I'm going out there. Archie, he's always crab walking, darting across this street going this way. Because I've got a leash. And then I've got 3 leashes coming off of it. And so Stella, she's lagging ass back here. So I'm trying to stay back by her because they're pulling her harness. And so I'm kind of trying to stay back by her. And then Archie, he's always like, he doesn't want to get too close to anybody. He's always like watching, and he's always like darting over in these little crab walks and stuff. It's like, dude, you don't even want to come. I don't know why you have a fit to come. And then, but fucking Max, he's like, charge. And then anytime he's being redirected, he just starts going in circles around everybody. So he's constantly looping up all of the leashes and stuff. So anyways, some days it just goes smooth and everything goes great. And other days it's just like, oh my God, I'm going to fucking lose my goddamn mind. And I don't hide it well. Like I'm walking down the street with him. I'm like, God damn it, Reese. I'm not yelling, God damn it. I'm just doing that same thing. Like, oh, motherfucking shit. It's like, God, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. And I do feel like I am going to lose my fucking mind. But I feel like I've already lost it. I swear to God. I feel like it's lost. It's gone. It's just like, I'm just holding on by a fucking hair at this point. And then plus, like, my whole body's falling apart, like, right now. But I had seen somebody, when all this stuff started happening, I did see somebody saying something about the changing in the frequency and all these things, like our bodies letting go or break or something. So I don't know. Hopefully it's all for a positive thing. There's definitely, or you're just like feeling so shitty. It's just like, oh, just get me out of here. Just take me out. What the fuck? God, you know? It's so ironic too. Is like when they started handing these out, and I was like, hell no, I don't want the slow baked death. And then that's all we've had. And I knew it was coming. Like I knew it. I was saying they're gonna make everybody sick slowly, but I didn't know how extreme it was gonna be, like how like so extreme. Just whatever. So I think it's daily. I think daily we're getting bombarded with some kind of chemicals. And I bet you every place. I don't think it's just here. I think it's all over the place. And I think different people are having different reactions. And it can be, a big influx of the cancers, a big influx of heart attacks, big influx of strokes. Tons of, I think there's so many people with autoimmune and stuff now. So anyways, it's just nonstop fucking shenanigans attacking us. But it's like, that was like the worst thing, that I did not want to have some slow, drawn out, sick all the fucking time. And then that's what we've had fucking years. Sick all the fucking time. And oh my God, I'm just fucking bullshit, man. This shit better be real good after we get through this. Like, this Age of Aquarius better be worth it. That's right now. It's like, fuck, man. This is, I don't know what's worth all this. Like, fuck. That's the kind of shit I'm always saying. So, so anyways, the racist thing, the documentary thing, and then he goes and he talks to like those little bikers, and they're all talking like sense, like makes sense. And then, but then he goes and talks to these college-educated people, that they talk to on the news, and these authors and stuff, and they're talking fucking bullshit. And the one even where she just kept saying how much she hates white people. It's like, how in the world do you come and talk about racism and not realize you're a racist? And then it was one part, because Matt Walsh, he keeps coming and interrupting their dinner. And at one point he comes out and he says, okay, I just want one more interruption, because they're getting really irritated by him. And he goes, I want to make a toast. Let's toast. Let's toast to who's a racist. And everybody raises their thing except for this black woman. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm not a racist. I'm like, chick, you are so racist. Like, what in the world? Like, you're going out and talking about this stuff and you don't even realize that you are the racist. You're trying to convince everybody else. It's such a projection. And these people, and they keep trying to convince all of us who don't feel any kind of thing about race or something. If we don't pay any attention, well, but you're constantly drawing attention to it. You're trying to make it about race. And so, and it really, I mean, the people who come into your orbit are meant to come into your orbit, no matter what color, whatever. And whatever develops is what develops. What's meant to develop is what's meant to develop. And so if you're meant to have, a bunch of black friends, then you will. If you're not, then you won't. You don't have to go down into their neighborhood and say, please, somebody befriend me so I don't look like a racist. And that is racist right there. Like, that is absurd. And And what gets me too is like how many of these people don't want any white person in their culture, but then they tell all of the white people that they are racist if they just want to stick to their own people. It's like, how? It's so weird. And, and they want to make this whole thing about also about like white people have jobs like managers or whatever, and then they are not going to hire somebody of a darker skin if they are racist. The way I look at this climate in our society right now is I think it's way more common that you would have a black manager and that they would be not wanting to hire anybody that's white. And I think that it's flipped more of what it is that they're trying to tell us that it is. I think it's the opposite. I think it's these people who are already thinking, well, white people get everything, white people get ahead, white people get this. And so they don't want to do that. And then there's a whole thing about like black owned businesses and supporting black owned businesses. Well, I mean, where could somebody go, well, a white owned business? And remember too, that 7% of the population is the white folk. And I don't know if that is like because there's so many groups that don't associate themselves with being the color of pale skin, or if it is just this generic term of white people. Because, like I've said, somebody comes over from Scotland or from Ireland or from Germany or Russia or wherever, that they are going to say, they're Russian, they're Irish. They're not going to say they're white. And even if they look like a paler skin, they're going to still say, that they're Irish, they're Scottish, they're whatever, they're German, they're Italian. So this vagueness of this whiteness, and which to me again is this small amount of people, and I think it has something to do with like orphan trains and stuff, and has something to do with this trying to create this other society, and there is I don't know, their droid society, and they want to remove the melanin from people. I really do want to get rid of that, because that gives the people more of a connection to this reality of this environment or something. And so the but I don't know, because do the people who are like Scottish or Irish or whatever, once they move over here, do they ever stop looking at themselves that way? Because once we have, like, my grandpa was Scottish and my other grandpa was Eastern European. So, and then my grandma's one was like Welsh, but it was further back. And then to the point where it's like, is this even orphan train thing? Because especially with my one grandma who was in South Dakota or something, and she left her family at a young age and never went back. And it was like, I wonder what the deal was. And so when I heard about the orphan trains, then I was like, huh, that's weird. And my other grandma, I don't know. She was the one who married my grandpa when he came over, and it was really embarrassing to be married to an immigrant. And so it was, I don't know, like you couldn't get a real American. You had to just take some immigrant or something. Like they made it immigrants like they were low class or something. And then they wanted to dissolve everybody's different cultures and languages and stuff. But still, it's just weird. I don't know, it's just weird. All of a sudden we're just like white people. We're not our heritage, our culture, or anything anymore. I think that's what Donald is going to shift back. That's why there's going to be this whole thing where wherever your ancestors are from or whatever, wherever your heritage is from, that you'll have dual citizenship or whatever. With the citizenship, there's going to be a lot of things that change on that. And however it steps down, but it's supposed to be like, so I would be able to, I guess in the Ukraine and in Scotland, I'd be able to go there and be considered a citizen once everything on the nation is switched over to this BRICS thing. Once we start going on the peace treaty and humans being free. So once we start going on that, but there's still steps to take. But I know that there's some places that are already opening up their citizenship thing. So anyways, there will be something about that where we will be able to reclaim our heritage or something. And I don't know if we'll find out we're from orphan trained laboratories or something. I don't know how they just made it just the white people. But anyways, for there to be so much hate when really, like, who's the minority? 7% of the population. I don't know, maybe there's one that's less. 2% or 1% or something, but 7% doesn't seem very much, especially to keep on talking about it and saying they're the worst, they're the worst, they're the garbage people, they don't even deserve to be alive. And some of this stuff that some of these people were saying on this thing is just, and these are white people saying this. It's like, man, how can you feel like this? There was the one lady from me, wherever she was from, if she was like from Libya or Pakistan, I don't know. She's darker skin like that. And she said she hates America, hates it. And it needs to burn down. All of it needs to burn down. It needs to be started over. It's like, well, that's going to happen, by the way. And, but not for what you think. Like, you're the opposite. But they are, maybe they're the ones that are causing it because of all their hate or something. But just the way that they are so blatantly talk about their hate and their hate of white people. I never seen anything like it. And I'm sure that's what he was trying to show, but oh my God, I could barely get through it. I was getting so pissed. I was doing TikToks. I was like, this is some bullshit, man. Just this too. Just on this. So, and I've heard this a lot of times. You know, I've heard this since the fucking 70s. Is a black guy walking down the street and the woman's walking and she clutches her purse a little tighter because the black guy's going by. So it's got to be because he's a black guy and he's going to steal her things. Well, for one thing, it would be if that was the case and she was doing it just because he was black, it would be because of the news. So turning and saying it on this woman that she's got the problem instead of saying that the news is programming people to think this is then we would put the shift in the wrong place right there. And for another thing, how would you know? Like, wouldn't you have to be a white guy walking past her too? Wouldn't you have to be like a teenager walking past her? Wouldn't you have to play all the different roles to walk past her to see her reaction, to have an accurate hypothesis of her reaction if it's based on your color? But people think that when they just go and experience it, they think it has something to do with them. And when people are, when their color is constantly being an issue, then it must have to do with that. And so there was a whole bunch of people. There was a while where people were like, oh yeah, if I get on the elevator, you know, everybody just like cringes or something. And but then it's like, well, maybe there's people cringing because it's crowded. Maybe they're like, another motherfucking stop. Maybe it's the button you pushed, but you keep thinking it's the color of you. And so people look at things in a way because it's like your view of what you think is happening is not always accurate. And one of one of these people said was, yeah, well, if a black guy comes up to a woman's car, she's going to lock the door. And that's racist. I'm like, that is not motherfucking racist. Anybody who comes walking up to my car, I don't care how old they are. I don't care if they're a fucking kid. Those black-eyed kids or green-eyed, whatever. I'm not, like, I don't give a fuck. If you are a stranger and you're walking up to my car, I don't care if you're a girl, a boy, what color, I'm going to lock the doors. If I'm sitting in my car and somebody is walking up on me, I'm going to lock the fucking doors. And so if you want to sit there and think it's because of your color, no, it's because you're a stranger approaching somebody's car. It's like, what in the holy hell? How do you even use this as your thing to show that someone's racist? Like, how is that your formula to racism? It's like, Some of this stuff is so fucking absurd. And then there's more stuff. Like, if you want to get pissed off, go find the fucking documentary and watch it. And I was glad at the end, you know, when he does be like, because you do see, like, okay, so you see what I see? Because you do. It's absurd. And I cannot believe the propaganda and shit that is going on and the people who buy into it. So, you know, we do have issues. And then these racist people sitting there telling the other people that you're the problem, you're the racist, you're the racist. It's like, dude, you need to look in the mirror because you're the racist. I'm sitting here as the observer watching this conversation, and I'll tell you who's the racist. It's obvious who's the racist right there. And and especially when you are in denial, well, I'm dark skinned, so I'm obviously not a racist. Motherfucker. If you're an expert on it, you sure don't know much about it, man. So, anyways, that is some fucking bullshit. So, but then I started watching this movie, and I haven't finished it, and it's really good. I can't wait to finish it. It's called Juror Number 2, and it's a new movie too. But what is cool about it is it's a moral, provocative kind of movie. So this young guy, he's got his wife, and she's about to deliver, and she's got, I don't know, there's some issue. She has to be at home. She can't be whatever. I don't know. She's got twins or whatever. Her stomach's real big. And so he gets called in for jury duty. So he goes in for jury duty, and he doesn't know anything about the case or whatever. And so he gets picked on the jury. And as it starts going, he starts realizing that he's the one that killed the girl that this guy's being charged for. And he didn't realize that he had killed her. He didn't realize he had even hurt anybody because he was driving. He had left this bar, and he was driving, and he looked down at his phone when his wife was calling. And when he did, he hit something. So he stopped, and he gets out of his car. It's like torrential downpour. He gets out of his car. He's looking around everywhere. He sees a broken fender, but he can't find anything. He can't find any. He's on a bridge, and he looks over the bridge, but it's just total darkness. He can't see anything. And so he's like, so he's thinking, and then he looks up, and it says deer crossing. So he's thinking, oh, I hit a deer and it ran off. And so he just went about, you know, his year and didn't think anything about it. So then he's sitting in this trial where this guy is getting charged for murder of his girlfriend, and she's the one who's found down there. So then even when he goes to try and talk, so he goes so it ends up that he's in AA, and his sponsor is a lawyer. So he goes to hire his sponsor, and he wants to turn himself in. He wants to tell him what's really going on to get this guy off. And his sponsor, who's Kiefer Sutherland, he starts telling him that you're going to go down then, because you've already had DUIs, you already have a record, and although you hadn't been drinking for a year, you went into a bar and you sat there and you bought a drink. So all that evidence is there. He said, you're fucked. You'll go down if they switch this charge on to him. And so it was like that's a part of our fucking corrupt system. But it's I'm only in this part where now this guy is totally facing this dilemma, and his wife is about to give birth and stuff. So anyways, it's really good so far. I really like that one. So I'm going to watch that today. And hopefully it will be a day that is not going to be so like, God, I could not believe it. Yeah, I would not think that the Brian Denny, like he's always in ones where he's a detective or something. So I thought like a crime one, but I didn't know it was going to be all about the racism and the cop thing. But I know that that's the problem with the racism, is the people with these are the ones that have got a problem. And so I don't know. The problem isn't just all of us, and it isn't us because we're scared of people that we don't know. It's like that is a created environment that they do with the news, is they create people to be fearful of people that they don't know. They create these biases and stuff. Confirmation, man. They create these biases and whatnot. And so that is that is why the people have to learn to notice their own biases and to realize them and break them down. And people don't like, just like this. Like I don't go in and listen to these people, so I didn't know what they were really saying. I don't go in and read these dumbass books. I'm not fucking racist, and I'm not gonna let you convince me I am. I fucking know if I'm a racist or not, and I know I'm not. And so, they want to try and feed off of your own insecurities and your own guilt. And it's like, whatever, they must have a lot of guilt or something about being white. Maybe they've been, rude to people over their color or something. I'll tell you, when I saw the biggest amount of racism, I swear to God, I couldn't believe it, because it was people who, of all colors too. And it was people who I knew for a long time and everything. But it was after, September, after that. That is when I saw extreme racism everywhere. I couldn't believe it. It was so many people who were just all of a sudden turned all against all of the people who were like Middle Eastern. If you looked Middle Eastern at that time, yeah, everybody treated you like you were a fucking terrorist. And it was horrible. It was shameful. I couldn't believe how people were treating people. Oh, I thought it was disgusting and horrible. And definitely there was dark-skinned people treating dark-skinned people bad. So I don't know. People got to look at things a lot more clearly, and they've got to see through their biases. They got to see how the media is just, is the wagging your tail. They've got you just going. They're the ones fucking doing the rope. They're the ones, doing the, if you're jumping rope, they're the ones that are swinging it. And we're the ones who are having to jump, 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 jump. But it's like, you got to stop. You got to stop playing along with their fucking bullshit, because that is what they're going to convince you you're racist. They're going to convince you you're entitled. You're going to, and you got all these people who don't have any money. They're starving. Most people don't even get along with everybody in their family. That was one thing too. He kept doing these like little classes and stuff. And, some of these people that go to these things, there was tons. All of them would have like a very boyish girl, all of them, and they would be very angry and bitter. And there was one, she went off saying that I think this was a girl who had long blonde hair. She did. And she was like, I fucking hate everybody in my family. And she won't have anything to do with them. They're all fucking racist. She won't have anything to do with anybody in her fucking family. They're all fucking racist. I was like, what in the world has this fucking media and stuff done to people? Like, it's so wacky, especially at the things that they look at as thinking is racism. Is like, and one thing too, I've talked about this before, is like in Black communities and stuff. Like, they don't want white infiltration. They don't want this mixing of cultures. Most of these cultures, most of these people do not want it all mixed up. The white people really are the outcast people. And then for some reason that they get put on a thing where people are like, oh, there's the trophy. If I get myself a white person, then I'll be accepted in society. But what society? Like, what are we trying to be accepted into? It's all about our own insecurities that hold us back. It's like we all have to do our own healing. I mean, these people are trying to tell the whole world they're racist when it's your insecurities over things that you have dealt with how you've been treated in your life by people, and you have taken it all on as about your race and stuff. And one thing too is that some of the people, when they think that someone's going to treat them bad, they treat others bad. So they are already putting out an energy that they don't trust you, they don't like you, and people don't realize that they're doing that. You're going into situations and you think, oh, I'm fat, I'm ugly, nobody's going to like me. So you go into this new job thinking, I'm fat and ugly, nobody's going to like me. Nobody's going to like me. I'm so fat, I'm so ugly, I'm so gross. And that's one thing too, that those two ladies at the dinner started going on, these ladies telling them, you're so rude to each other, you're so rude to yourselves, all you do is tell yourself you're fat all day long. They were so fucking mean. And it's like, you are mean, hateful, racist ladies, and you're having people pay you thousands of dollars to come in and ruin their dinner, and these women all just lapping it up. It's like, what in the world are you, what? Some of them, it's like maybe they were mean to a black person one time, and now they feel so guilty that they got to have somebody come in and degrade them or something. It's like this dom sub thing or something. Like, here, just beat me down, tell me I'm garbage so I feel better about myself. It's like, god damn. And so anyways, where was I on this other thing that I was trying to say? The biases and your insecurities. Oh yeah, so if you go into the job being like, oh, I'm so fat, I'm so ugly, nobody's gonna like me. You're putting out that energy. You're putting out a barrier, you're putting out a force field. And so the reaction is you, what you're putting out. If you go into it and you're not sitting there thinking, you know, I'm fat and I'm gross, and then you go into it and thinking like, I'm fun, everybody's gonna like me, this is gonna be the funnest job, I'm gonna show everybody what a great person I'm gonna go into it feeling good and feeling confident. And then when the first person comes at you, don't let that beat you down. If somebody comes at you and they're not nice to you, it can be their total insecurity. They could have a total problem. Maybe their mom's obese and that they've got a problem with fat people. Like, don't take it on as your problem. Everybody takes this stuff on as their problem instead of seeing like, this person's got an issue. Oh, well. And so then right away, it clicks them into this protective thing. And then it's like, no, everybody hates me. No, I knew it. I tried to be positive and everybody hates me. You can't, those are like the tests from the universe where you're like, oh, this guy's got an issue, but I'm fine. I'm good because I love myself and I'm going at it and I'm going to just be friendly and be nice to people and see where it gets me. And you know, you're going to probably end up making some friends and stuff. But yeah, you're not going to have everybody's not going to like you. That's none of us. There's no place that you could go to work. I'm telling you, I was that ideal. A 5'9" blonde going into a job. You get more fucking hate than you even fucking can imagine. So don't just sit there and think that like and I would go into them positive. And I would come out of them like, what the fuck is going on, man? Why these people fucking hate me? Why do they want me fired? Why don't they like me? And I've had that all the time. I was like, so yeah, you can't sit here and think like everybody's gonna like you, and you can't take everything on in your own personal insecurities. Like if you feel insecure about your color, your hair, your height, your weight, your skin texture, whatever it is, you are putting that out, your insecurity. You've got to reel that in and learn how to love yourself. And to just be like, it's okay. It's okay to not have perfect skin. It's okay to be overweight. It's okay wherever you are, it's okay to be there. And wherever you are and you take notice, then it's probably time for you to work your way out of whatever it is that's holding you back. And so, you know, and if it is your weight, there's certain things you can't do anything about except learn to love yourself. But there's some things that you do have more control over. And it does have to do with you caring about yourself in order to want to take care of yourself. There's a lot of people who don't take care of themselves, and it's because they don't care about themselves. They don't know how to care about themselves. They've lost it. There's a woman, this just happened last week, I think, in some place. I'm not sure where it was. In Michigan. I don't know. Michigan's always coming in my mind. There's always shit. There's always shenanigans going. There, this woman who's 65 years old or something, and she was some overweight. I mean, she wasn't like giant or anything. She was just regular, typical overweightness, I guess. And she got into the tub, and then she couldn't get out. I don't think she couldn't get out because she was stuck over her size. It was her weakness. She couldn't get out because she couldn't reach the handicap bar and pull herself out. And so if you get to the point you can't manage your own weight, then you've got to start seeing like, I've got a problem with my weight. I've got to get to a size that I can manage. And this is also shows how people, as they age, they stop doing exercise. They stop being able to take care of themselves. These handicap bars are handicapping you. You don't, and it is important, I've said it before, it's super important to be able to get off the toilet without using your arms. You need to just use your legs. Whenever you're getting up from any chair, especially as you're aging, don't use your arms. Do everything you can to just use your legs and your core to lift yourself up. over and over, because that is where people get their weakest, and that is where people start having to use walkers, wheelchairs, stumbling, they're falling. So you've got to keep your strength in your legs. And just take some soup cans, some green bean cans or something, keep them next to your chair. If you have a chair that you sit in and you watch TV or whatever, keep them there. And just throughout the day, just keep picking them up and lifting them. And your arms may get really tired the first day, and you may only be able to lift them a couple times and be like, fuck, man, that's hard. And do ones, challenge yourself. I'm always challenging myself. So do things that are hard. Don't just do it and then be like, oh, now it's easy, I'm just going to do it like it's easy. No, you got to challenge yourself. Maybe you're going to need to lift the weight up a little bit. I just saw my coffee cup. You could use a coffee cup and put something inside of it and use it for weight. Little weights don't cost that much, and I'm sure you can buy them online and have them sent to you. So any kind of weight or something, but you can even just use your fist. There's people who are just using their own body in order to exercise, but you have to create a tension. You have to create this tension in your muscle. So you have to bend these ones and then pull it so that you are making it work. You can't just do this. Like, that's not going to do anything. And so you have to make the muscle do something. And so you can, while you're sitting around, do those kinds of things. But if you keep using your legs to get yourself up, then you're going to keep building that strength so that you don't end up being like this lady who can't get out of and she had to sit there in the tub waiting. I think it was like, I don't know, it was through Thanksgiving or something, but it took, the neighbor noticed that her mail was piling up after the 5th day. So they went over to go and check on her. And that's when they found her. She was stuck in the tub. And she had been running the water and drinking the water and then putting the hot water on to keep warm because it was frigid temperatures. It was below 0 or something. So anyways, it just is kind of sad because you just see all these people deteriorating, but it's following an agenda. It's following a narrative. It's following a program, and you got to break that program. You got to start taking better care of yourself. That's just a big major thing, is about your lifestyle choices and taking better care of yourself and to give yourself value. You got to see the importance of you being able to lift yourself and stuff like that. So anyways, do everything you can to not use your arms every time you're getting up. Even if you have to put your arms up like this, that will even make your muscles in your core pull in more too. So you'll be working those. And sometimes even when you're getting up, do a couple of drops. Do a little, I'm going to go back down, I'm going to get back up again. Do it a couple of times. And then you'll start feeling, you'll get stronger and stronger. It won't take that much time. And then pretty soon, you will not be shuffling. You won't be needing a walker. You won't be needing a cane. You'll be building your own strength up. And definitely, though, don't use your arms to get off the toilet. Use your legs to get off the toilet. And also, I don't know, I know I've talked about it before, but the squatty potty thing, if you don't have a squatty potty and you've got any issues with your digestive system, you should get the squatty potty because it puts your body in a more aerodynamic way of going to the bathroom, a more natural way. Just like how they they try and get us to lay down and push these babies out when really all you gotta do is squat and the baby just comes out. It's the same thing with going to the bathroom. They have us sitting in a weird position, and then so many people have constipation issues and all these issues to go to the bathroom. When you get one of those squatty potties, it pulls your legs up and it puts you more into a squatting position where it just naturally, like, you won't have any problems. You won't have issues unless you've got some other kind of serious digestive issues. Then you have to keep working on your GI health because your GI health is completely under attack. That is 100% they're attacking your GI health. And that is, it's the big one because that's where you absorb your nutrition and everything. And so anyways, my head is just like pounding. And this tooth, it's like this fucking wind going in every time I talk. So, but that is where you got to recognize your biases, and your biases are flaring up at this point in time. You got to be noticing, like, the people who you don't listen to because they're just like, ugh, I just, like these people, like these racist, and it's all these academics fucking bragging about, oh, well, I've got a degree. That's one thing too, that he keeps going around saying that he's an expert on like diversity. Is a DIC or DIE, some kind of thing, and it stands for like diversity in education or something, I don't know, and he's an expert on it. And so he's constantly going around showing this card to all these people like, I'm an expert, I know about this stuff. And his card is some kind of like a thing off of the internet or something. I don't know. All these people deciding that they're experts and stuff. Like, all this stuff is so absurd. And these people are so stuck in their egos. I mean, just doctors sitting there saying, like, we should just listen to them just because they're doctors and stuff. Right there. Like, you got a fucking issue. You should be listening to me just because I'm the patient. I'm paying your motherfucking bill, bitch. So shut the fuck up, you egotistical fucking maniac. So anyways, but it's the breakdown of our system. You got to be able to see through it. And then, and see things from different people's perspectives. Yeah, the doctors are dicks and lawyers are still, like, all these different people are all a bunch of manges, but it is like, there's a reason, you know, and they've got to go through their stuff. But in the scheme of things, in our storyline, that, yeah, that's some shenanigans and some bullshit and stuff. But it doesn't mean to be like, oh, I hate doctors, I hate lawyers, you don't want to be putting out all this hate. I hate. And you gotta just look at people as like, they're learning their lessons. They're, you know, as there's gonna be in this awakening, people are gonna realize, like, people have been doing some stupid ass shit, some real stupid ass shit. It's been fucking us all over, and it's gonna be a lot to be processing. And so, and it's gonna it will kind of heal the division, because there's gonna be like the pressure from the universe to let go of shit. To maybe that is going to be such a big thing about why the mirror is going to be so strong, because people are going to have to really see what a dick they are, and then it's going to be like, well, I'm such a dick, how can I say they're a dick? So maybe that's kind of how it's going to go. I don't know. But it's gonna go somehow, somewhere. And I mean, it could still go today. Like, they could start fucking fighting in the sky at any moment. I still don't understand how all these remote viewers could see something that wasn't there. So I don't know if there's something with time, and I don't know. There's a lot of weird shit. So, and everything's going to keep being weird as the whole thing keeps breaking down. I also have over here, this tooth is hurting so much. And it's got to be from gritting my teeth. And it's got to be from gritting my teeth and just not feeling good or something. I'll just be glad. Fucking, I know, I can remember. Like, I swear to God, it was just a couple months ago and I felt so good. And it was like, I think it lasted a couple weeks where I was like going around like, man, I don't have anything hurting. I feel so good. It feels, and then it just came in hard, man. It was like, good. But maybe that's like, so I can keep looking at that and just try and get back there. But how can you get back there if it's like your daily fucking dose of poison every fucking day? It's like, god damn. So it's hard to, there's got to be something that's going to go before J20. Like, god damn. We have to go all this month and part of next month. And he keeps on being like, everything that goes wrong, well, that's going to be taken care of the 20th. It's going to be taken care of the 20th and stuff. It's like, we want it taken care of now, especially those of us who know that he was really the one who was in there, and this other yahoo who's just fucking out there handing out money and pardons like a fucking bitch ass. Like, god damn. I'm so sick of this shit. So anyways, but we got to remember what we're doing here. And what's important is learning how to love yourself, love everyone. It's important. And to how to have a loving day, because it is totally up to you. So anyways, we'll be working on it again today. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.